Okay, I'm here with my buddy Bowie. Bowie's going to appear under the bed here in a second. In this video, I'm going to go over some tips you can use if you have a dog that guards something like the bed. So the guardians here have one of the guardians. Bowie grew up with one of the guardians. The other guardian is a new partner to the relationship. Not new, she's been here for a year. And Bowie has bit her a couple of times. Now, Bowie, I threw a couple treats on the bed, so that's why he's underneath there, but this is kind of the area that he hangs out in. So if he's hanging out and we come in the rooms, so basically, just so I understand, so he's under there, you walk in the room, he starts growling, and then he's gone after you a couple times, correct?
Yeah, like I've walked past just to go to the wardrobe.
You're walking here to go there.
Yeah, no growling. He just lunges out.
Lunges and snaps. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and he's
dogs can
yeah.
resource guard essentially a noun, a person, a place, or a thing. I've had dogs that guard the air around them, which is very hard to diagnose. The water closet is right here, and so the guardian's walking by. This is a choke point.
Yeah.
He's under the bed, and dogs sometimes have a guarding issue called resource guarding. Resource guarding is basically usually manifests when the dog stands over an object and they kind of back and forth. If you come near them, they bare their teeth, and a lot of times they'll bite anybody. And so what we typically do is the worst possible thing. If the dog growls, we take the thing away. Dog has a bone and growls, we take it away. The dog was growling, saying, "I'm worried you're going to take my bone away. I growl at you, and then you took my bone away. So since you're my thief, I'm going to have to bite you because warning you is clearly not working." Now, so this, and because of the vantage point, he's a little dog, you're taller, everybody's taller than he is, but if you walk by and he's baring his teeth, you're not going to see it. We went over cutoff signals in dog body language early in the session. Ears flipping back, eyes getting big and not blinking, baring teeth, growling. If you're walking through, he might growl, you might not even hear it, especially if you have the air conditioner going, you might not even be aware. And to his mind, I've warned you like 48,000 times. And you just keep on walking by, and sometimes you take my stuff, so I'm a little bit gun shy, I'm worried you're going to take my stuff. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to throw a couple of these treats under and just kind of simulate him going under, and I'll show you kind of what to do. Now the problem with it is this is something you really have to know that they're doing, because sometimes, as you mentioned earlier, he guards and sometimes he does not guard. So it's not a chronic behavior, and that's what throws us off a little bit. That's okay. He might have grabbed a special toy or something he's not allowed to have and has it under here, and he might just think in his mind, Alfred Hitchcock never showed the bad stuff. He might think, "Oh my God, she's coming to steal my stuff. I'm going to guard it." And if her foot is here, she's close, now I'm going to strike and let her know that she better back away. So ideally, we would like to see him. Now we have a little security camera here. I don't know how good your internet is, but you might put it underneath your dresser. So when you're walking in, you could actually, when you're practicing this exercise, you could actually see what he's looking at. You're looking at your phone as you're walking in. Having the right information at the right time really makes a big difference. In my experience with him, and I'm only seeing a snapshot, but he does not seem to be an aggressive dog, and I've worked with aggressive dogs. I think that there's just been some confusion going on. I know, and I have treats, I'm not giving them to you. So I'm going to throw the treats underneath. Yeah, she got to go in all the way. So I got to throw them in further, evidently. I'll do that better this next time. So what we're going to do is when dogs are resource guarding, they're worried we're going to take their stuff, they're going to lose. There we go. So he's gone. So what I would do is I'm just going to pretend like I'm here. I'm going to, oh, you got to stay underneath there though. All right, so he's under the bed. So it helps if you know he's under the bed. I would just kind of assume. So he comes in, I would just basically stop here, throw him a treat, and then back up and walk away. And then you come in again, and let's say when he's guarding, he's probably going to be underneath there, and he's not moving. He's not going to come out like he is here unless he's charging. So he's probably going to be over your teeth, and you see that. So let's say that I walk to the edge of the bed here, and he's under there, and that's when he growls. That's his first warning. Now the first warning is probably going to be he's going to get stiff, he's going to lower his head, his ears are going to go back, but it's going to be impossible to see that unless you position your camera underneath. So if there are times that you know he's likely to guard, or if you come in and you hear him growling, if you have your camera down there, or get another one, they're pretty cheap nowadays, and have one there. So you hear him growl, stop, move away. So let's say this is the point where he gives the first indicator. The burst indicator, like I said, usually is freezing. It can be hard for you to see unless you have the camera. But let's say it's growling or freezing. So you get here, he growls or freezes. That's a warning that's like, hey, don't come any closer. So what are we going to do? We're going to walk away. We're not going to come in closer. So his growl was effective. It stopped us from approaching and invading his space. But we want to fix it. Moving away is adhering to what he wants. Fixing it requires the second step. what you're going to do is you're going to go grab some treats. You're going to walk in, and let's say this is where he gets his first warning when you get to this line. So I would stop. Thank you for demonstrating where he is now, one step before the warning. I'm going to throw a treat to where he is, and I'm going to walk away. Now, normally we would have you approach from this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle. Unless you're able to metamorphosize your body, you're not going to be able to go through walls. So you're just going to have to use the same angle. Mm-hmm. So you're going to walk away. He can go, relax. Then you come back and you stop here again and throw another treat. And it'd be nice if you have a camera there, you can watch and see what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Does he adopt more of a relaxed body language? Is his body more wiggly and jiggly? Is his mouth open? Is he taking the treat? Are his eyes blinking? Those are indications he feels comfortable. So you want to keep on stopping here and rolling a treat. So what you're saying is, when I approach, I make it better. And before you have any concerns, I leave. There's nothing for me to guard. You're doing everything I like. When you arrive now, it's actually a benefit. There's a positive to your arrival. Where before, when you arrived, I was worried you're going to take my stuff. And I think off camera we talked a little bit, I think we have taken things away from him. So he's kind of thinking that he's worried that you might be doing that. And sometimes they just get this in their head, even if you haven't done it. But I would advise not to do that. If a dog has something and you need to take it away, the more you take it away, the more they're likely to guard. So if a dog has something in its mouth, I have a treat like this, I just hold it to their lips. I don't say anything. When they drop it, I put it in their mouth. I say yes, put it in their mouth, and I don't pick the object up. Because the dogs, the way Bowie's like, I make stuff cool. You guys had the shoes here all day long. You didn't want it. As soon as I pick it up, you guys both want it. Because you don't want me to chew it. But in his mind, you're trying to steal my stuff. So we're going to stop like a foot outside of wherever he gives his first warning, throw a treat, and walk away, and do that about 3 or 5 times. Then next time, maybe you stop here, and you throw a treat. And then next time you stop here, and throw a treat here. And let's say you get to here, and he bares his teeth again. Well, then we stop, walk away. When he bares his teeth, we don't give any treats. We just reward him by walking away, giving him the thing that he wants. Walk away, and then I would stop over here or here, an easier vantage, and we want to have the last repetition be a successful one. So the first time you do it, you might only be able to only go from where he is here to here. Next time you do it, you don't necessarily start here. You might start here. And again, that's why it's helpful to have the little whatever it is, so you can look at the vantage point and make sure he's not growling. But as soon as he gives his first warning, we have to stop. Otherwise, he's going to growl more or lunge or bite. That's what it comes from, is we're not listening. But so maybe the first time you go from here to here. Next time you start here and you make it to here. Next time you start here and you make it to here. And eventually you're walking up all the way and you're just throwing a treat. And eventually as you're walking by, I would walk by and throw a treat under there as you go to the loo. When you come out of the loo, have a little cache of treats. Do the same thing. And you might also approach it from that angle if he's guarding. So I would definitely have some treats in the loo. I would have some up here and some out here that are just go. You don't want to have to go and grab a bag. If he hears the crinkling bag, he might run out underneath there, which is fine, but you don't have a chance to practice making it better. Yeah. Moving away just helps him stop getting more bombastic, but approaching and rolling the treats helps change his emotional response from a negative emotional response to a different or a positive one. Probably a positive one because you're rolling treats. But we have to go at his pace. If he growls, we keep coming, we should expect the bite. But after a while, he's going to be, I have much to do about nothing. I don't have any reason to guard because she doesn't come under here. Couple things. You guys haven't mentioned it, but a lot of people, the dog has a safe place. They go under the bed or something like that, and we pull them out. Don't pull them out. If you want them to be out of there, whoops, throw a treat in there. I probably should be under your bed. I'm probably too much. So if he's under there, I might say, come, and then throw a treat here, and have him practice coming out of there. Mm-hmm. And maybe have a special word for it. Maybe you say, whatever. Let's see if he backs him up. Disneyland. You throw a treat. So we do this when he's not guarding and he's just under there. And so go over here, Disneyland. So he's practicing running out and running away from the guarding position, so that if you do need to get underneath there and get something, you have trained him to vacate the area, and then you can go grab what you want with closing the door, so he doesn't have to worry about you grabbing his stuff. So basically, this is a lot of people when their dog guards, they like, oh, he's doing it again. I want you guys to be enthusiastic. He's doing it again. We get a chance to work on it. And immediately go grab your cache of treats. And I would probably practice this, about anywhere from like 6 to 12 times. It depends on him and how he feels. You got some dust on your coat there, buddy. All right, come here, buddy. Sit. This is my buddy Bowie, and these are some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that likes to guard the bed or any other object.